Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Good morning and happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I share that sentiment with you, and we are going to get into the Major League Baseball betting picks. Hope you guys are all doing well, feeling good, and into the weekend where we have a lackluster weekend within terms of the college football slate. I'm actually kind of excited for the Arizona Kansas State game tonight. That's probably my favorite one of the weekend. There are a couple other ones, but just it's going to kick it off in the right direction. But this is a very jam-packed Major League Baseball betting card. I'm going to get into those games. We're going to talk a lot about what's going on, and I will give you guys 5 best bets yesterday. Another good day we had on the program, and with my picks going, I believe 3-1, where we did have a little kind of fun within that. Matt Chapman with the Giants getting shut out. I think they actually might even got no hit. I'll have to check on that one. But no, they had 5 hits in the contest. However, getting blanked over there in by Milwaukee at home. So let's get down into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, and gals, I should say, make sure you all subscribe right down below. Smash that like button. Couple of notes of business. If you are a channel member, thank you. If you want to become a channel member, TBM channel member link down below. Join us here on YouTube. I don't charge for picks. Also, free Discord, totally free. That and Twitter. If you do follow me on there, that's just an instant line of communication that I have out there for you guys available. So make sure you guys all check that out. Please read the description. There's always some nuggets in there, some good stuff along the way as well. So let's get into the picks, and we are going to use oddsjam for this as we break down the entire board here. We have a huge slate as we wrap up. It's just a few more games left, it feels like, for this regular season to be over with, and then all bets are off once we hit postseason baseball. Okay, the first game, we're going to jump right into it. Luis Ortiz going against the Kansas City Royals. All right, no pitcher named yet for the Royals, but we are going to lend towards the under in this spot. I like this game in terms of the fact that the wind's going to be blowing in from center field, dead into their faces in Pittsburgh. This is where we're going to take that 6:40 first pitch. It's a ballpark where I do like to frequent often, so I do know what it feels like to have that wind come off the river. Going under in this one. All right, it's a little bit cold out as well as we get into that. It's a little earlier first pitch, but I still like the under in this spot. I'm taking the half point or half run. I was just talking football, so I'm going to get my runs and points all screwed up, so please mind me. Okay, but I like the under in this. We've seen this go under 9 for Kansas City a lot, and for the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. As long as we get through kind of the the first 2/3 of the game into the bullpen, I think that's where we're gonna be able to cash this ticket. So one of my best bets and picks of the evening will be Kansas City Pittsburgh under 9. Right now 8.5s are readily available, but I do like the 9. All right. And then we do got Jose Quintana and Aaron Nola within the Philadelphia Phillies and New York Mets. Phillies at home. This is kind of probably the highlighted game for those of you looking for a great baseball game to watch. This one has all the makings of fireworks, all right? And this is where we look into this game, and you can see what New York has been doing, winning 3 out of their last 5. They've been pretty much the hottest team, I believe, for the month of August and early September, and very similar to what we saw with Cleveland a little bit earlier on in the in the season. And coincidentally, Francisco Lindor, former Cleveland Indian, not Guardian, I should say, he did not play for the Cleveland Guardians, which it's kind of like that, Harry Potter movie. We do not refer to. We don't say Guardians around here, but nonetheless, I digress. And I like the fact in this game though that we do get Quintana. He's shown a lot of flashes lately, but Aaron Nola is kind of that team or that pitcher that I don't usually bet for or against. I know a lot of you guys talk to me in the Discord. You like riding Nola. But I just can't get there with this one. It's too much of a coin flip, and I'm not willing to bet $1.50 against the Mets in this spot to fade Aaron Nola, and I don't really want to get into the business of doing that. So we're going to stay away from this one. This is just a sit back and watch for me, okay? The next game, we do have an official play, and this will be Baltimore and Detroit. Zach Eflin on the bump for the Orioles, one of their acquisitions mid-season. I really like for this to come into form. Detroit's been running kind of hot lately, but this is a great value play. I think Baltimore, losing 4 out of their last 5, going on the road, playing a team like Detroit, this is a kind of, all right, guys, new series. We're out of Boston. Let's go get the job done. All right, they had the day off yesterday. Baltimore off a loss. You look at some of the numbers with that. I'm sorry, off a day off. I should say that off rest. All right, Baltimore's 13-6 plus 406 if you want to talk about units on the money line. So that's kind of where I'm big on Baltimore. It's probably my favorite play of the day. And right now you can find that minus 139 if you want to do a run line, money line split. That's out there at -1, so don't ignore that as well. But I do favor the fact that there may not be a lot of runs being scored on both sides. So just be careful if you are going to dabble with the run line. But Baltimore money line, one of my best plays of the evening. All right, and then Marlins and Nationals. We have Edward Cabrera and DJ Hers. This is a very interesting spot. Washington. It's a weird matchup. These are like two of the teams that are like kind of my kryptonite. We do take Washington and Miami, but when they play each other, it's kind of a weird situation. So just for the sake of argument and just not just throwing money and just shooting fish in a barrel, I'm going to stay away from this game. There's better bets on the board, and there really there's no value laying $1.40 almost with Washington in this matchup. Although that would be the side that I lend towards. All right, Boston Yankees. That's something where we were on the under yesterday. So sometimes when everybody zigs, you got to zag, right? Playing in Yankee Stadium, humid day, you think the ball is going to fly out of that short porch. Not so fast, and that's kind of where we were at yesterday. You look at some of these pitchers that are, not the more well-known guys out there, but they get the job done. You got to really look in recency too. Don't just bet a pitcher because they have a 3 ERA. What's the whole story of that 3 ERA? Okay, how many innings are they going? What was their early in the season? Is it all dominated by that? Is it front loaded? Is it back weighted? That's kind of what I look into a lot. So before I just jump off, and quite frankly, I think some of the odds makers out there, they don't. Okay, and that's where we're coming from to find the value and find the edge. Is if you read between the lines, you can find those edges out there. And this is kind of very similar to what we see with Tanner Houck. Okay, but in this spot, I'm not going to bet this game. It's a rivalry game. Everything lends towards taking the under. We do get it at 8.5 just because they give you that Yankee Stadium courtesy call. Where you have the potential for long balls, but I think Yankees have been struggling to score runs as of recent, and that's kind of where I would lend towards taking the under. There is a little bit of a familiarity concern. These teams play each other a lot, so if you want Houck to be effective, how effective could he be? So that's where I'm going to stay away from this game as well. All right, but I would lend towards taking the under once more. St. Louis and Blue Jays. All right, this is where we could talk about Eric Fetty since being acquired by the St. Louis Cardinals, 74-72 on the season, going against the unnamed pitcher. We don't have a pitcher yet for Toronto, so with that being said, it's kind of hard to bet or make a handicap when you don't know who's going to be pitching. So we're going to stay away from that one for the sake of argument and get into the next game where we talk about Cleveland and Tampa Bay. Cleveland coming off of a loss. This is where we look at Cleveland at Progressive Field. Definitely like them in this spot going against Zach Littell. I think we're going to get a fair matchup. I think Cleveland minus 160. It's not justifiable within that price, and I'm not willing to lay the run line in this as well. It's kind of a weird number here. So maybe Vegas knows something, maybe they don't. But if I was making these odds, I would not have Cleveland $1.60 as a favorite, which would lend me towards probably taking a little bit of a flyer on Tampa Bay on the money line. Plus 157 would be kind of where I stand on this matchup. Okay. Next game is that we're going to get into is an interesting one with the Braves and Dodgers. Okay, so little NL kind of postseason magic here. I think the Braves do get in 79-67 on the season, going against the Dodgers 87-59. It's crazy to think that with that Braves talent, it was ever a concern at one point, but with their pitching concerns and injuries and what we saw from Austin Riley going down, I just wish that they could get their team at full strength because not having that team at full strength is definitely a disservice to any baseball fan out there for the postseason. Okay, but that's where we're going to look into this. Landon Knack going for the Dodgers. I don't like this number. I don't know why it's minus 101. I know the Braves are at home, but I do think the Dodgers in this spot, that's the play. That's the side to be on. Minus 101 would be definitely where I would lend towards. I'm not going to bet it. It's a little fishy, but if I was going to bet this game, I'm going against Swellenbach. I like the Dodgers. Wins blowing out. The Braves always have a chance not to score runs, and I like the Dodgers a lot in this first game as we open up this weekend series. All right. And then there's a few more games to talk about, and then I promise you guys we will get into more official plays. It's just sometimes when you go from the early first pitch to the late window, you do kind of get some repetition going, and there's nothing I can do about that. I'm just trying to give you guys my thoughts on each game as we go. So Oakland and Chicago, that's basically a shit on shit matchup. I'm going to stay away from this one, and if you guys want to bet the over, go for it, but that's kind of the only place I would go to. Garrett Crochet going for the White Sox, pretty much the only pitcher that I do trust on that staff, but I don't trust kind of their body language right now, so money's better spent on football right now than betting on the White Sox. Reds and Twins, that's where we have Julian Aguilar going against Bailey O'Bear. Minnesota would be the side I'm on pretty strongly, actually. The Reds can't hit the baseball. Now they go on the road. I would go Twins run line plus 100. Twins' best pitcher, in my opinion, going against a Reds team that can't score. This one's pretty much self-explanatory. Twins are at home. They need to get a win, jockeying for position, and I think the Twins get that done on the run line. All right, and then the next play we're going to have is the Cubs and Rockies. We got Javier Assad, 7-5 on the season, 3.14 ERA, going against Austin Gomber. All right, I'm going to take a stab at the over 10.5, minus 115. We're in Coors Field. Chicago has been, they've been kind of winning some baseball games by scoring 6 or more runs, and that's kind of my magic number here. If you can trust a team to get 6 runs in Coors Field, that's kind of where you always have a shot at cashing the over. So let's go with the over 10.5. I think it's a little too low. It should be set right at 11, and that's where I'm going to be at for the Cubs Rockies in that best bet. All right, next one out there is the Astros and Angels. All right, this one's pretty much one of my favorite plays of the day. We're going to take the Astros minus 1.5 on the run line. Now, they've been playing probably their best baseball of the season right now, and it's a good time to start peaking. And this is where we have Yosei Kikuchi, who's been absolutely phenomenal since being basically acquired by Toronto, going against Samuel Outerhari, or however you pronounce it. But young pitcher, I think the Astros get to him, and this is something where I think that he's going to get tossed around a little bit. The Astros are too hot. I think they hit lefties well, and I really do like the fact that Kikuchi's on the bump for the Astros. So look for this game to kind of be like possibly like in the 6-0 territory. That's kind of where I lend towards 6-0, 6-1. If I had to handicap it to an exact number, that's where I think this game ends up. So if that hits, shout out to me. But anyways, that's where I'm at. Run line, Houston minus 1.5. All right, and then, we'll talk a little bit about the Brewers and Diamondbacks. Eduardo Rodriguez against Freddie Peralta. This is actually a no-run first-inning candidate bet for me, going against the grain a little bit. I like Eduardo Rodriguez whenever he's pitching for the Diamondbacks to take in a no-run first-inning bet. Freddie Peralta also has the potential to shut down, but he's kind of fell off the map mid-season, kind of right to where we're at right now. So in terms of this bet, this is a no-play for me. However, I do lend towards taking the Diamondbacks and fading the Freddie Peralta-led Brewers in this contest, okay? And then we do have 2 more games to talk about. I do have one more best bet, so we'll save that one for last. But the next game would be Dylan Cease and Logan Webb. Probably the greatest, if it wasn't for the other game that we're going to talk about, probably the late game on the card that I would be watching. I'll probably have them both up. But Dylan Cease going against Logan Webb, this one's great. I would fade Dylan Cease, but this is where Logan Webb has not had his greatest stuff as of recent. So for me, this one's pretty much an under. I just don't trust Dylan Cease to keep up his end of the bargain. But San Francisco only scoring 3 runs last night against Milwaukee. Now they come home, maybe a little sleepwalk as they get to this divisional matchup. So if I was going to bet it, I probably would go chalky in this one. It's set at 7, so it's pretty much an unbettable number. But I would go under 7 if we were going to bet the San Francisco Giants San Diego game. Okay, and then the last game is probably the one that everybody's going to be keyed in on. Jacob DeGrom making his first start since Tommy John out there for the Rangers, going against the Mariners at home, and they're giving him a lot of credit right out the gate. All right, 7 runs is the run line set for the total. And I know they're in Seattle and it's going against itself, but this is where we look in this spot. I do like the over. I think you just have to take it. It's at 6.5 minus 125. I think that's something where people are going to look into kind of what's going on. Texas has the potential, you never know, to score 7 runs themselves. It's just a weird number where I don't really understand, other than DeGrom pitching, that he's getting 6.5. I watched him throw some live feeds from his minor league outings, and I know he's going against AAA pitchers, so on and so forth, or whatever, but We'll see where the velocity's at. We'll see how much movement he has on his off speed, but I don't know, man. I just can't get there with the way that this is all shaped out to be. So I do favor the Seattle money line plus 102, as well as the over 6.5 as well. That's kind of going to be a little bit of a just your kind of all-encompassing fade DeGrom play. I have them both listed in my bet recap. Full disclosure, this is a 10-10 first pitch. I don't know which way I'm going to bet it yet, but I am going to bet this game against DeGrom. I want to see where the pitchers are going to be, who the pitcher is going to be for the Mariners, and I want to feel how I'm going to attack this, whether or not be from a strikeout under perspective, player outs perspective. But right now, early indication will be the over 6.5 runs in Seattle on the money line plus 102. Okay. So that about do it. That'll wrap it up. That is my full rundown of the Major League Baseball card. I know it was painful. I know you guys just like clicking to the end, and please don't do that, because the only reason that I keep going is when you guys watch the whole thing. Because in case you didn't know how this works on YouTube, you don't make any money doing videos. It's all about growth. So if you guys don't watch the videos, the channel can't grow, and then I can't give the picks. So that's all we're here for, just to give free picks. So appreciate you guys. Can't do it without you. Remember to subscribe if you have not done so. Appreciate all the work that you guys do over on the Discord as well. It's really fun seeing that community build. It's a totally free platform, just a way that I can communicate with you guys, and we can kind of, talk some mess every once in a while. So that's it. That's my best bets. We're going to go into these 5 games. Like I said, Seattle, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to play it, but I wanted to get this out earlier than later. So appreciate you guys all watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.